If there's one repeated behavior that can threaten a professional trader's income and career, it's this: deviating from your trading plan under pressure. It doesn't matter how much profit you generate. If you give it back in moments of psychological hijack, your P&L will never reflect your true capability as a trader. And you don't even have to be losing money for this to be a problem. If you consistently fail to extract the full expectancy from your trades, then you're underperforming against your potential. In this video, I'm explaining why trading plan violation and rule breaking happens, even to professional discretionary traders operating at the highest levels, and how you can train to fix it. My name is Sheehy-Kelly. I'm a high-performance psychologist and a trading psychology consultant for professional and experienced traders, and I specialize in performance under pressure. Let's get into it. For professional discretionary traders, repeatedly violating your trading plan is a costly error that directly impacts your P&L. It shows up in bottom line performance as avoidable losses, extended drawdowns, and failure to capitalize on the full profit available to you within a trade. And in professional prop firm and institutional environments, trading plan violations are not just impacting the individual trader. Execution instability becomes a systems-level liability. At the firm level, the underperformance of individual traders compounds. It increases realized volatility, deepens drawdowns, it restricts capital scaling, and it forces risk teams to tighten exposure. It also adds to trader churn, indirectly costing more capital through talent development and recruitment. But this behavior of repeatedly violating a defined trading plan is just the visible symptom of a deeper pattern that activates under pressure. When traders are technically competent, with a history of profitability, and operating with a clearly defined edge, we can be sure that the issue is not trading skill. At this level, execution instability is driven by psychological mechanisms that activate when uncertainty is high and when professional reputation and capital are on the line. This is where even highly capable traders can start to feel stuck. Now, this explanation alone is not a revelation. No experienced trader is completely oblivious to the impact that impulsivity or challenging emotions like fear, greed, and FOMO can have on your trading. But in my career working with traders, I've observed that the single biggest reason why traders struggle to overcome execution instability under pressure is that they misidentify the root cause. To fully resolve trading plan violations and to restore elite level consistency in execution, the true root causes that are both driving and maintaining the behavior must be understood first. Only then can a tailored solution be created to effectively restore performance. Decoding the root cause is often the most overlooked and underestimated part of fixing the problem. So let's ground this in real trader experiences. When a trader fails to execute according to their defined plan, the behavior usually manifests as one or more of a number of different violations. Hesitating on a clear, viable playbook setup, sizing outside of predefined risk parameters, cutting winners early, letting a losing trade run past the stop or exit criteria, or loosening rule adherence after a drawdown. Typically, traders treat each plan violation as a separate problem. Cutting winners early is attributed to a lack of confidence. Hesitating on a setup is attributed to fear or indecision, and letting a losing trade run on is attributed to greed. Often, the challenging emotion itself is seen as the precipitating event that leads to the violation. The result? Each behavior is considered in isolation, assigned its own emotional label, and therefore its own distinct fix. Or worse still, traders just attempt to double down on willpower or discipline to eradicate the issue. This approach misses the point entirely because it only addresses the symptoms of the issue, not the real mechanism driving the violation. The problem with this approach is that it's like playing whack-a-mole. You attempt to fix the violation with a surface-level solution, but no matter how hard you work to resolve it, the next mole, the next instance of deviating from your process, is only moments away from rearing its head. The recurring violations can't be categorically resolved, because the root of the problem has never been addressed. To comprehensively address trading plan violations, the lens needs to shift from considering each violation behavior as a problem in its own right to conceptualizing every psychology-driven violation of the trading plan as stemming from the same pattern of root causal factors. In my experience, each distinct type of trading plan violation is a behavioral expression of the same underlying issue. Limiting subconscious programming that activates under pressure, combined with the trader's natural response to heightened stress, and then magnified by conscious biases, cognitive distortions, and behavioral habits that exacerbate the impact of the pattern. Limiting subconscious programming refers to the deeply held beliefs that you carry about yourself and the world, often formed in childhood and then reinforced over time. And these beliefs relate to themes like self-worth, control, safety, survival, belonging. They are often so deeply entrenched that if somebody asked you to articulate yours on the spot, you would likely struggle to do so. This is one of the most critical areas of your psychology to address if you want to resolve trading plan violations at any level. The thing is, these limiting beliefs can lie dormant in your subconscious, not posing any overt threat to you or your trading until you throw pressure into the mix. When real or perceived pressure increases, these subconscious programs activate and hijack your trading. Add in the fight, flight, or freeze response under stress, and suddenly you're managing your trades very differently to how you had planned. To make matters worse, this pattern is exacerbated by biases and habits that don't serve your trading. For example, all or nothing thinking that causes you to believe that one substantial drawdown reflects your entire worth as a trader, or habitually talking yourself out of shorting the market because you have a bias or a preference for going long. In combination, the interplay of these three factors derails your trading and causes you to violate your plan. You can see then why a simple breathe your way through holding the winning trade or an abstract focus on the process piece of advice just doesn't cut it. Applying this perspective to the whack-a-mole example, the root causal factor is that as long as the machine is plugged in, the moles will keep appearing. The problem could be conclusively resolved by simply unplugging the machine. Now, to be very clear, I'm not saying that each trader has the exact same psychological wiring that just expresses itself differently depending on the trader. It's that once skill and edge are held constant, every trading plan violation originates from a combination of these three factors interacting to produce undesirable actions in the market. But let's anchor this in a clear trading example. Let's use the trading plan violation of trading with too much size using this model. The trader holds a subconscious belief that my self-worth is dependent upon my achievements, and this creates a really strong internal drive to win at all costs. Then, after a series of losing trades, the trader starts to feel under more pressure. The threat is no longer just financial. Now there's an identity level threat. The trader is at risk of a serious blow to their self-worth. Physiologically, the trader's body moves into fight mode. An all or nothing lens takes over, reinforcing the belief that a drastic solution is required to neutralize the threat. Risk parameters start to feel restrictive and negotiable. The outcome? The trader increases size in a way that violates risk parameters to win bigger on the trade. So if this three-factor interaction is the machine that produces the violations, the solution is not more discipline, it's retraining the machine. Resolving trading plan violations becomes a matter of mental conditioning. Mental conditioning is the systematic training of the psychological mechanisms that determine how you execute under pressure. It's like a psychological gym program, a mental training protocol that's personally tailored, progressive, and built on defined mental skills and evidence-based performance techniques. And of course, the protocol includes robust evaluation. Key metrics are tracked to refine the protocol and assess impact. So whether a trader is currently experiencing repeated trading plan violations, or they're about to increase size and they want to preempt any breakdowns in their psychology, the solution is the same. Adopt a personally tailored mental conditioning protocol to optimize each of those three underlying categories of factors. That is, optimize subconscious programming, your resilience to pressure, and your conscious thoughts and habits so that they all support the consistent execution of your trading plan. This is how you train for elite level consistency in executing your trades according to your plan under pressure. Olympic athletes don't leave this critical aspect of their performance up to chance. They train for years to have the mental and emotional fortitude to execute in split-second moments when their career is on the line. And as a trader, you can do this too. Mental conditioning in trading is often assumed to just be a different name for traditional performance coaching, but they are not the same intervention. Mental conditioning is a structured, directive process. The purpose is not reflection for the sake of insight. The goal of mental conditioning is behavioral stabilization under pressure, to deliberately train so that you can reliably and consistently perform in the moments where it matters. But how does the mental conditioning process work in practice? The practitioner identifies the exact psychological mechanisms that are driving repeated plan violations, and then designs a tailored mental conditioning protocol to address them. The trader implements this protocol in their daily and weekly trading routine, changing beliefs, responses, and behaviors to support the consistent execution of their plan over weeks and months. Over time, this upgraded psychology becomes the trader's default way of operating. The trader's baseline execution consistency and resilience to pressure has been raised. With mental conditioning, sessions are purposeful and agenda-led. We discuss topics in depth, yes, but only to the extent that the relevant insights can be extracted to inform the design of the mental conditioning protocol. The emphasis is on deliberate practice, repetition, and behavioral alignment in live market conditions. Traditional coaching operates differently. It's typically more exploratory than directive. Sessions are typically guided by the trader's immediate concerns, and the coach acts like a reflective mirror to increase awareness and enhance perspective. Mental conditioning targets the specific mechanisms that are destabilizing execution under pressure. At the institutional level, both of these approaches serve different functions, and they can be adopted in parallel to amplify the impact on performance. If you recognize this pattern in your own trading, if your strategy is sound, but your execution destabilizes under pressure, this is not something that you fix with willpower. It requires structured mental conditioning. I've developed a protocol specifically designed for traders operating with real capital and real professional stakes. It's called Go Deep to Level Up, and I deploy it in 3 different formats: a self-paced online program for experienced independent traders, an intensive one-to-one performance psychology consulting engagement for professional traders operating within firms and institutions, and a scalable version for desks and firm-level deployment. If you're serious about stabilizing your trading execution under pressure, you'll find all the details and information in the pinned comment and the description box below. Trade well, and I'll see you in the next video.